I grew up on a farm in Egypt. Being the creative genius that I was, I named our cows, chicken, and sheep after family and friends. The uglier the animal, the more likely they would be named after one of my sisters. I remember one particularly adorable cow that we got when I was 6, so I named it after my best friend at the time, Ali. A couple of months into his arrival onto our farm, I watched Ali get slaughtered. A horrible experience that I wish upon no one's best friend's namesake. Understandably, I skipped meat for dinner that night. And the following, and the following, and the following. Until one day, my mother was fed up. She snapped at me at the dinner table and said, "You ate burger yesterday. Why are you not eating the steak that I just cooked for you?" I stared at my steak, then back at my mom. I asked her, "Is burger cow too?" To her dismay, her efforts to get me to eat meat that night backfired. I never ate a burger again now that I knew what it was made of. But 6-year-old me is not that different from many of us. Hardly any of the adults I know how their food makes it to their table. Luckily for my parents, by the time I was 13, I'd reconciled myself with the fact that humans do kill mammals for food. My parents started making me eat more red meat. But something still didn't feel quite right. So being the nerd that I was, still am honestly, I started researching humans' relationship with food. Once again, my mother's efforts to get me to eat meat backfired. After learning about the food industry, I decided to go plant-based. Plant-based meant that I was not eating not only red meat, but any animal product. Being plant-based in Egypt, a country where one of the biggest religious celebrations includes the slaughter of a mammal and distributing its meat to charity, was the equivalent of being a pagan. In fact, my mom's efforts backfired big time this time. I managed to make my whole family go plant-based. Unfortunately, it was not due to my masterful rhetoric. It was simply my mother's solution to not cook 2 meals, one without animal products for me and one with for the rest of the family. But over the first year of going plant-based as a family, we started noticing something interesting. My mother started losing weight, making her way out of obesity, and my father reversed his hypertension. But my parents were not doing something new here. They were simply adopting the diet of our ancestors when they didn't have access to a carcass 24/7 in their fridge, but simply roamed around Earth, eating plants, nuts, and a small animal every once in a while. So why do I have beef with the meat industry? Well, 6-year-old me had an issue with the beef part of the phrase, but adult me has an issue with the industry part of the phrase. All parties are losing. It's a horrible system. The workers are losing, the animals are losing, our health is losing, and the planet is losing. Well, all parties except the corporations, 4 of which control 80% of the industry. Meat today is half as cheap as it used to be 100 years ago, adjusted for inflation. And for meat to be this cheap, someone had to pay the price along the value chain. The workers pay the price. Nothing slows down the production line. Not animal excrements, not exhausted workers, not injured hands. In some slaughterhouses, not even the workers' urge to use the bathroom. They urinate and defecate on the production line lest they slow down a system that expects them to kill 35 to 45 chickens per minute. Do the math. That's less than 2 seconds per bird. They do this all day long for every working day of their lives, only to be paid $500 a week pre-tax. It's not a surprise that the animals pay the price. If you're a cow in America, this is what your life looks like. You are raised on a concrete slab in a stall barely big enough for your own body. You never touch the grass or see the sunlight until the day you're herded to slaughter. You are fed corn because it's cheap and it makes you fat fast, even though you did not evolve to eat it. Your hooves have rotten black from standing in your own poop all day. Your tail has been cut without anesthesia to stop hitting the workers. And a cocktail of hormones and some breeding decisions is making you grow at unprecedented rates that your own bones cannot carry you. But hey, you need to grow fast to keep up with the demand. The average American consumes the equivalent of 1.5 steaks per day in the form of chicken, fish, bacon, any form of meat. This might not seem like a lot to you, except that the World Health Organization indicates that the consumption of anything more than 50 grams, or the equivalent of a quarter of a steak, 1/6 of what we consume, triggers the onset of cancer and cardiovascular diseases, among many, many others. British research on over 11,000 people shows that vegetarians are 40% less likely to get cancer, and that vegetarian women live on average 6 years longer, and vegetarian men 10 years longer than their meat-eating counterparts. We're literally paying the price in days of our lives. I have so much beef with the meat industry because even though I choose not to eat meat, I am still paying the price. Our planet is suffering. Cow farts are suffocating us. And man, do cows fart a lot. 15% of the greenhouse gases are attributed to the meat industry. The industry is taking a huge toll on our resources. Do you know what you, eating, drinking, showering, cleaning for 6 months, have in common with 1 kilogram of beef? You both consume the same amount of water. It's an incredibly wasteful system. It's an incredibly expensive system. So as a plant-based eater, here is what I ask you. Enjoy your meat. Make it a delicacy, not a daily thing. Eat it once or twice a week, then once or twice a month, and if I'm doing my job here, a few times a year. Don't listen to me. Educate yourself. Watch literally any food documentary. Watch John Oliver's episode on meat packing, and then make the decision for yourself. See if you still feel good consuming certain products. Finally, invite your friends. Have vegan dinners, have vegetarian Mondays. Make it a group activity. So, enjoy your meat. Don't listen to me, educate yourself, and invite your friends. Wow. 6-year-old me was such a visionary.